Oh dear. All right, and there we go.
Wow.
We're live.
Woo!
Hi.
Live.
Yeah, there we go. Live eventually. Hi everyone. Steve Plummer here. Welcome to another business broadcast. I'm joined by my good mate Cam Roberts. Hi Cam, how are you going?
Hey Steve, how you going? Thanks for joining the call and being online today. And hello everyone, whether you're watching this live or the replay. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, all right, let's get into it, Cam. So today I've been on the hot seat, I guess, for a couple of times. It's your turn on the hot seat today. We're talking about 5 sales funnels for small business marketing. Now, Cam, just to get to, I guess, to segue into that, or to give some context to that, right? When you and I individually and collectively work with clients, they come to us to solve a problem, and we always try and work out really quickly whether it's a traffic problem or is it a conversion problem. And what we're talking about today, I guess, is touching on both of those things. You know, with a funnel, where is the blockage? Is there a blockage, or is it, is there something else going on? So, Cam, we're going to talk about lead gen, we're talking about expression of interest, referral funnels, and a whole lot of things. So let's dive into it, shall we? So I'm going to throw back to you, and I believe the first one you want to talk about is the lead gen funnel, and that's for an ebook, a style guide, a mini training, or any of those sorts of things. So again, is it a traffic problem? Is it a conversion problem? Let's talk traffic firstly, to get people into your funnel, and then go from there. So Cam, a lead gen funnel, what have you got to share with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to back up a little bit and talk about funnels just as a holistic thing, first of all, and want to really encourage people who own small businesses to think about funnels, because a lot of people use funnels, like a lot of coaches use funnels online. People use funnels to sell courses. But what I really wanted to do today was talk to the small business owners, people that actually have bricks and mortar businesses, like real estate agents, mortgage brokers, dentists, people that have people come into their business, restaurants, cafes. All of those types of businesses can actually use sales funnels and marketing funnels also to their advantage, and have them as weapons or tools, if you like, to use in their own marketing. So, if you hear the word sales funnel throw around, or you hear the word marketing funnel throw around, don't just think it's for the online, people. It's not. It's not just for e-com. It's not for just selling online courses. And in more cases than not, Steve, the people that we work with collectively and individually, most of them are small businesses. They do actually have a business. They have a warehouse, a factory, a truck, a shop, whatever it is. And so, first of all, I just want to say that, you can use funnels if you're a small business that has a bricks and mortar presence or some sort of traditional type of, outlet. So there's 5 that we're going to discuss today, and the 5 that we discussed are really based on where the buyers are in their journey of your business, because you can build a funnel, quote unquote, right? But if you're using the wrong types of messages at the wrong place with the buyer journey, you're going to cause a disconnect. You're not going to get that conversion. You're not going to see the results that you want to get. So what we're going to do,
if I can just interrupt there for a sec, it's a copy problem at that point, right? It might be that the copy's bad. It might just be that the copy is the wrong message at the wrong time. It might be really good copy, but it might just be for where they are in that sales journey. It might just be the wrong thing for them. And that's where, someone who is a little less experienced can get caught up.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's really important to understand what you want the sales funnel to achieve, right? And depending on what the outcome is, will depend on where you position it in your marketing, in the buyer's journey. So
that's
the first one,
picture.
It's the big picture. So the first one we're talking about that small and medium business owners can use, bricks and mortars, is the lead gen funnel. So a lead generation funnel, you can use things like an ebook, a style guide, mini training, lookbooks, discount codes to use in stores, some sort of rewards card to download from your website to come back in store and use it in store. There's many different ways that you can create what is traditionally an opt-in, right, to get a lead, right? And that's what you're doing here. You're not necessarily using a lead generation funnel to make a sale. You're using a lead generation funnel to find people that want to put their hand up and say, that's interesting, tell me more information.
Yeah, it's a give to get kind of dynamic and interaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if we talk about like cafes, like a cafe could give away a gift card. So if you land on their website, and I've searched probably 20 different cafes and restaurants this month to look to go out and eat, right? And not one of them had a lead capture mechanism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Now
totally.
I went and probably ate at 10 of them, but not one of them had a thing, leave your details here, you get 10% off your next meal.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was just, download something. It would show up on my phone, walk in, make my booking, show them the thing, get the 10% off, get the free drink, whatever it is, right? But now they've got my details to remarket to me. But instead, I keep visiting all of these cafe and restaurant websites, and no one captures my details, right?
Yeah, Cameron, if I could just interrupt there again. So that it's a really interesting point, right? On for an immediate sale, but also for the long-term value of the customer. Because if you do that right, I mean, there are certain things like the law of reciprocity at work, and also it's very rare that you go to a cafe and you just buy one thing, so, and especially if you've been given something like a free something or a discount on something, your mind automatically goes, oh, I've saved money there, I might just get, and then X, the chocolate slice or the coffee for the friend or whatever it might be. So you ignore this at your peril, if you do have a bricks and mortar business. It's a two-pronged thing, right? It's a long-term thing, but you also get immediate sales because people will come in based on reciprocity, the law of reciprocity, and that gap. They think because I've saved X, I can now spend Y to so just don't ignore that. All right, it's a really important point that Cam's making.
Yeah, and all of these businesses, you can bet they've spent money or are spending money on SEO. They've spent money or are spending money on Google Ads. They've spent time and money or are spending time and money putting posts out on Facebook and Instagram and all of that goes with it. And yet you visit their website and there's no way to capture a lead, right? No way for that lead to go into a system that automatically and systematically follows that person up over the next 2, 3, 4 months, to get them back into the business or into the business in the first place. So that would be the number one thing for small businesses. Get a lead generation system, working from your website, and it can be a pop-up, it can be a form, whatever it is, that forms part of the funnel.
Yeah. And I'll go back, Cam, to pre-COVID when you and I used to meet on our Thursdays for a coffee and have a chat.
Yeah.
They did nothing to ensure we came back next week, right?
No,
we only did because it was midpoint. No, it was only only went there because it was sort of midpoint for both of us, right? But just really interesting that that they would have seen us every week, the staff would have seen us every week, but there was none of that recognition or hey, you guys have been in, have a free coffee next time you're in, kind of thing. Just even a little card for regulars. You go, oh look, we appreciate your custom. Here's a free coffee voucher. Just go online to activate it, or whatever it might be, right? Like there's just it's such there's small things, but they can build a business over time, and that's really what you're getting about here with the lead gen funnel, like small steps, but over time. You think of that, your foot traffic over a year. If you did one strategy like that, right?
Thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars, Steve. People are leaving on the table. Businesses complain that it's tough, it's competitive, people aren't buying it as much anymore, but they're leaving thousands of dollars on the table for people who are visiting their website, coming in store, and not doing anything to get them back or get them to buy more.
Yeah, it's also true, but what are you doing about it, right? And this is what you're sharing here is a really simple example of what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got 4 more to get through. So let's keep moving on. So the second one that the second sales funnel that small businesses can use is an expressions of interest funnel. Now, an expressions of interest funnel works well typically for high ticket items where someone's not necessarily going to leave their name or details straight away. So it could be for a car dealership. It could be for a real estate agent. It could be for a smile makeover, right? So I might leave my details with a dentist or call up a dentist if I've got a filling that needs doing, right? Or if I want my teeth cleaned. But if I was wanting like veneers, for example, And I know veneers are a high ticket item. Well, that's going to be an expressions of interest funnel, right? And so you could build a funnel page with a back-end follow-up system that goes automatically into your CRM that nurtures and follows up that person via SMS, email, and all sorts of really cool stuff. They would then fill out that expressions of interest. Your team would be notified. They'd go into your system, and away you go through that sales process. So expressions of interest forms work really well for high ticket items or higher priced items in small business.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. And especially long lead time, you have to, I guess you have to do something to, one, capture people in that long lead time, but also something to move them along, right? And not
That's
have
right.
them just jump off onto your competitor. So that's an often a false belief in a lot of business. I've got a long lead time, it's really hard. Yeah, it is, but there are things that you can do to mitigate that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, when we talk about all the types of things you can do at the back end, whether it's automation via SMS or email, like we make it look as unautomated as possible, right? If that's a word. So we want to make it look like someone sitting at the other end and just sent a text, right?
Yeah.
They just got a text from Steve about something they inquired about, 2 days ago. We don't want it to look canned, right? So we make it look very personalized. So EOIs then goes into the next one, number 3, and that's a request to quote funnel. So same sort of thing. I might be looking for a trades. I might be looking for a builder. I might be wanting someone to build my home or come and do a renovation on my home, and I might want to get a quote. Again, it can be used for dentists as well. Any sort of quoting type of service. And what you do with a request to quote funnel is that we fake it a little bit. And what I mean by that is we build the funnel page in such a way that it looks like the person's going to get a quote, but they're not. And so what happens is they will eventually, but not automated through filling out a form, right? So they fill out the request to quote form on the first page, and then it goes to a second page where we show a video about the business and congratulate them on making a good decision, let them know what's going to happen next. And the next thing is, the person who does the quotes will make contact with that lead or that prospect and then start that quote process. So it's a good way of people thinking, oh, yeah, that's what I want. I want a quote, right? Because that's what they're thinking. And so just give them what they want. Let them fill out some really high value fields, that filter the leads. And that way you've got the information before you even talk to them on the phone. So the request to quote one's very similar to the EOI, but it's really based on a different market. It's based on people looking for a quote based on a price, because the difference between expressions of interest and request to quote is that on the request to quote, you can ask someone, what's your budget? So if you had like a kitchen renovation business, on that kitchen renovation business, you could say, what's your budget for renovating your kitchen? And it could be, between 1,000 and 4,000, 4,000 to 6,000, 6,000 plus, or up to whatever, right? And then you can put a timeline. How soon do you want the work completed? Within a week, within a month, within 3 months. So by the time you jump on the phone with the person, they're well qualified and you know what you're going to say to them.
Yeah, that's a really good one, Cam, because not all prospects are equal. Some are just browsing, some genuinely are looking, some are half a step away, right? And they just need something, some mechanism to take them closer to the sale. So that's a really good one. All right, Cam, what's number 4?
Yeah, so number 4 actually supports the first 3, right? So we had the lead gen funnel, we had an EOI funnel, we had a request a quote funnel, and number 4 is the lead nurture funnel. So what happens is when people come into the top of the funnel through one of those 3 ways, they're not always going to buy straight away. They're not going to get their kitchen straight away. They're not going to get their smile makeover straight away. They're not going to buy the real estate deal straight away. They're not going to buy the marketing service straight away. So you need to have a lead nurture sequence or a lead nurture funnel in the background that automatically and systematically cares for that person, adds a few timely touch points, gives them more information, shares case studies with them, provides them with sales tools like meeting links to book an appointment, right? Things like that. It could share testimonies. It could share reviews online that that business has. So it builds a case, if you like, for the business that creates the lead nurture. So it lets the prospect or the contact know that's going through that process that they're in the right place, they're going to be well looked after, and if they make the decision to press the button to go forward, it's a good one that's going to be made.
Yeah, and I guess people listening might be going, "Oh, gee, that sounds like a lot of work." Well, it is, but that's why the likes of you and I exist, right, to help you with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Cam, that's really good. Let's go to number 5. Hey, review and referral funnels.
Yeah, and the last one, Steve, it follows up everything. So if you've done your lead gen properly and you've got people into an expression of interest, or you've given them a quote, they've gone through a lead nurture sequence or a lead nurture funnel, they've bought off you, they're now a happy customer, you're now starting the process. However, 95% of businesses that I come in contact, and probably you come in contact with as well, Steve, actually don't have an automated way of following people up who have bought. They just drop the ball. It's like they take people's money and they still look after them, they still service them, but there's no communication there. There's no email or SMS about what's going to happen next. There's no check-in process. And once the job is completed, there's certainly very little businesses that I come in contact with have a way of asking for referrals and or Google and Facebook reviews. So one of the best ways to grow your business is to get more people talking about you. So if you can create a funnel where people will share their positive experience about your business with their friends, their families, and their colleagues, and also after they do that point, refer you on Google and or Facebook, that's going to be, adding extra thousands of dollars to your business as well.
Yeah, and that we've spoken at length on this show and elsewhere about the importance of that social proof, right? It's easy for a business to say we're this, we do this, but when other people say, and often when the reviews etc. are raw, unsolicited kind of responses, when other people see that, it's a massive credibility boost for the business. To get people who are half a step away closer to that sale. So, all right, Cam, I am mindful of time. Goodness me, I thought it was 3 or 4 minutes. It's actually 17. So they're the 5 sales funnels for small business marketing. Now, Cam, if listeners want some help with that, what can you tell them?
Yeah, we've got a site where we book people in for an expressions of interest ourselves, and that's bubblegummarketing.com/sales-funnels. So what I'll do, I'll just put it in the chat, Steve, and if anyone is interested, they can just have a look at the chat below this video or wherever you're watching this video. Follow that link, fill out the form, and let's have a conversation, and we'll talk about which part of the funnel in general you think you're lacking, and then we'll work on a strategy of how we can get a really good funnel built for your business.
Yeah, and I guess if nothing else, fill out your details and go through the funnel. You'll see what it's like, right, when it's done well.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks. Thanks very much, Cam. That was really enjoyable. Can't believe how quickly that time went. As always, great talking to you. Hope you got a lot of value out of that, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time for a business broadcast. I'm Steve Plummer on behalf of Cam Roberts. Thanks, and bye for now.
Cheers. Bye, everyone.